What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Want to say thank you guys for all the support. I'm currently in my hotel room, and I was able to cover the Gennady Golovkin. Hey, no, guys, Max, not for future versus Dominic Wade live, and Chocolatito was on the undercard with the Royal. I had the time of my life. Now, just a quick message. I just want to say thank you guys, because I really started on this YouTube thing from the ground up, and covering fights and stuff. This was all because of you guys, and I appreciate all the support and just being here to help me grow and carrying what I have to say, because this is a real life hustle. Like, some people think I just get on here and bump my gums and that's it. No, it's like, this is different. This is what I do. This is my job now. So travel expenses, shooting to different places, and find out their Wi-Fi sucks, so you have to go to new places, different stuff like that. So it's not a sob story, because it's not really work when you enjoy what you do. And I grew up idolizing boxing, and I'm here now. So I want to talk about Gennady Golovkin versus Dominic Wade. And a lot of people reached out to me and said, hey, what's your post-fight? I want to hear your post-fight thoughts. It's really not much to say other than to commend Abel Sanchez and Gennady Golovkin, because it wasn't much of a fight. There was not much resistance, is what I'm saying. Gennady Golovkin did absolutely exactly what he wanted. Round one, he came out, and maybe the first minute he was a little bit. He wasn't open up all the way, just trying to fill out his opponent. The guy was undefeated. Dominic Wade was undefeated also, so he's trying to give him a little bit of respect. And then I think once he seen that Dominic Wade was a little bit more timid, he started opening up. And the thing I like about Gennady Golovkin, in Dante's Boxing Nation, we were doing like a live commentary that I said is his accuracy. His accuracy is retarded, and he does little things where he'll switch the speeds up and he'll vary his punches, which is very important. A lot of guys with power and a lot of guys with speed, what they do is they know I'm fast, like, so everything they try to shoot at you is fast, like their prime speed, like or if you know you have power, like a Ruslan Provodnikov. He hurt Chris Algieri, and it was like his whole mission was to land the biggest haymaker for the rest of the fight, and he was more or less following Chris Algieri as Chris Algieri got on his bicycle and started to outbox him and use his reach and height. But Gennady Golovkin has power clearly, but he doesn't do that, which is what I respect about his power game. Is he has a nice selection of punches. Like, he'll just tap you. Like, and the thing with the guys with power like Golovkin, I think anything he hits you with, anything he touches you with, probably feels solid, even when he's like throwing like little decoy punches. And that's really what I noticed. He'll open you up and like loosen you up, like hit you on your arm or hit you to the body, and then he'll rip a nasty, powerful uppercut. And I don't know, he kind of toyed with Golovkin. And one thing I did like in round one from Dominic Wade is he attempted to go to the body, and Golovkin, he has his plus minus is what it is, because he's accurate. And the biggest thing is, it's not that he has the best defense, is people are worried about his counterpunching and his power and what's coming back. So they become gun shy to throw back, and that's what we've seen with Dominic Wade, because Triple G released some vicious body shots as well. And again, he's an accurate puncher. He was able to knock him down in the first round, and it was the beginning of the end. It looked like Dominic Wade had no answers, no plan B or anything. Round two was pretty much more of the same, and Golovkin started landing some deadly right hands. He floored Dominic Wade, and honestly, after that second knockdown, it looked like it could have been stopped. It looked like he didn't have it in him to continue fighting. It looked like he was going to get battered even worse. And we've seen stuff like Nick Blackwell situations, so we don't want that to happen. But the ref, Jack Reese, let it go on. He allowed it to go on, and he got knocked down again. And it was a wrap. So props to Gennady Golovkin. But that's the good. Now let's talk about the bad and the ugly. The bad is this was to be expected from me. Not many people knew Dominic Wade. Dominic Wade, I believe his last performance was against Sam Solomon, a 41-year-old with a knee injury. So he did fulfill an IBF mandatory obligation. So mean, you can't overly critique because he was playing by the rules, so to speak. But it still wasn't a formidable opponent. Like, yes, Dominic Wade had some amateur experience and done some things in the amateurs, but what has he done as a pro? Again, him being undefeated and him being the mandatory challenger were probably the best selling points of this particular fight. But most people who observe boxing didn't really give Wade much of a shot based on the fact of he hadn't shown like a ton of promise or shown us what he could do as a pro. Like, what's his signature win? A split decision versus Sam Solomon? You know what I'm saying? So again, Golovkin played by the book, fought who he had to fight, but most people expected this. And now the bad is, after a performance like that where he looks scary, a lot of people aren't going to want to rumble with Golovkin, right? So he's going to have to find somebody, and it might. I know he wants to unify. He keeps saying, "I want to unify all the belts and things like that." But he may have to go up to 168 just because it doesn't look like there's a middleweight that can beat him, right? And then the guys that might have a chance don't look like they want to fight him. You know what I mean? The Billy Joe Saunders or Daniel Jacobs, guys like Canelo. They're trying to pull him down to 155. His team says, no, I'm not doing 155. So that's kind of the bad and the ugly. You give him credit for a win because he took a guy's O and it was a mandatory, but at the same time, it was to be expected. People want to genuinely see Gennady Golovkin in a fight where they consider the odds to be better than 50-1. You know what I'm saying? If Golovkin fought Danny Jacobs, I don't think it'd be 50-1. Clearly, Golovkin would be the favorite over any middleweight, but I don't think it'll be quite the same because we've at least seen Danny Jacobs, even in his loss with Dmitry Pirog. That's a learning experience, and Dmitry was a hell of a fighter in his day. It's unfortunate what happened to his career and that he had to retire prematurely. But we've seen stuff like that. We've seen him in there with Sergio Mora, who is a hard guy to make you look good against. You know what I mean? He's just awkward, the Latin snake. We've seen him stop Peter Quillen in one round. But again, these guys have to want to fight Golovkin too. So you might have to pursue Gilberto Ramirez at 168. Bob Arum made a call, and that was confirmed by Tom Loeffler when we spoke to him. And he made a call trying to get that fight for Ramirez. He has a belt. He's a title holder in the new division. So it might be something like that. Let me know what you guys think. I thought Triple G, he did his thing. He went out there. That's what you're supposed to do with the level of competition that he has. It's just about stepping up to an echelon that we feel is more of a challenge. Like I told people, I would love to have seen a Carl Froch fight. I understand he was flexing and said, oh, I'm too big, too strong. Then he retired. I'm just saying that's the type of test where if he blew through Carl Froch like he did Dominic Wade, then that's a hell of an accolade, because I've seen Carl Froch in there with Andre Ward. I've seen him in there with George Groves twice. I've seen him in there with Arthur Abram, Jermaine Taylor, and pretty much a prime Taylor, Kessler twice. You know what I mean? Those are the types of barometers we could really gauge. Dominic Wade, I honestly had to research him and do more work and research to see what he was about in his fighting style and stuff, and I knew he was going to be too wide, and he didn't look like he was in the greatest shape at the weigh-in. So I really didn't expect much. I expected the Golovkin to do just that. Tons of amateur experience, tons of power, accuracy, punch variation. Let me know what you guys think. Dominic Wade, Gennady Golovkin. Good performance from Golovkin, but it's still not as telling as him fighting, I guess you could say, like a Carl Froch or a known elite guy, a guy with some momentum. And that's just really what it is. But props to Golovkin. I liked how he called out Canelo. I actually did a video about this so long ago, and I said, is Golovkin too nice? And the whole video, the whole premise is how Golovkin is just, he's not a trash talker. And I'm not saying everyone has to just be a trash talker, but at the same time, you have to get the fights you want. And you got to do certain things to sell yourself. So I liked him post-fight, how he was like, Canelo, give me my belts. Like, he was just like, give me my belts, and I want them. They're mine. I like that. I like him being a little bit more bold as opposed to be like, nah, I respect him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And just being super nonchalant all the time. Sometimes you have to amp it up, especially like Golovkin. His situation now, he's running out of options. Like 50 Cent said, you got to do something, baby. like the Adamas, the Rosados, the Wades, the Willie Monroes, the guys that we haven't seen much of, or they haven't been in that division, or they're not known A-listers in the sport, things like that. People are growing tired of seeing those level of competitions because, I mean, you could name any elite fighter from Mayweather to Pacquiao to Andre Ward, Carl Froch, anybody, whoever you think is elite, right? Reagan, and no matter how good they are, no matter what their style is, nobody is just blowing through everybody. So I truly believe Golovkin is a great fighter, exceptional fighter, but I do think he's in a weak division. And then the people who could challenge him, some of them are ducking him. There's a lot of different things, but I mean, you usually see like Cotto versus Canelo. He just knocked out Kirkland, but he couldn't knock out a smaller Cotto because Cotto is an elite fighter. You know what I mean? Cotto knows how to survive. Cotto's been in there with Pacquiao's and Margaritos and Floyd Mayweather's. And that's what happens. You step up in competition. Look at every major elite versus elite fighter. You'll notice a pattern. Mayweather versus Pacquiao, right? No knockdowns. No one got knocked out because it's the highest level of competition. You know what I mean? Or look at like elite people in their division or people who are perceived like champions. Scott Quigg versus Carl Frampton. No knockdowns, no one got knocked out, and it was a competitive fight. So I truly believe even Golovkin, as good as he is, if he fights somebody who's known elite per their division, then it's at least going to be more competitive than the Dominic Wade fights like that. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Share the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.